What's up guys, Wyatt here from Give It a Good Shake Painting Tutorials, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a lava base like on this bloodletter. These are great for chaos bases, orc bases, anything like that. So, what you want to do is you want to take your base, and you're going to want to draw out where you want your lava with PVA glue. So, I usually do about 2 sections of lava per base. Whether that be these thin like rivers here or some puddles. I usually do both. I just think it looks a lot better. So now that you have your base covered in PVA glue, you're gonna want to put some rocks and sand down. So first you're gonna take some medium grain rocks for just kind of a larger texture. Then you're going to want to take a finer grain gravel and sprinkle it all over the base. Just like so. Make sure you get all of the glue. You're going to tap off your excess. And there you have it. So, we are going to prime this model black and then throw some paint on it. We'll be back as soon as we're done with that. Alright guys, we're back, and as you can see I have primed this model black. So first what you're going to do is you're going to take a dark gray, you're going to give your paint a good shake, and you're going to go for a dry brush. You want to do a pretty heavy dry brush on here, but you do want to leave some of that black there, just because you want it for contrast. It makes it look a little more natural, like shadows. And you want to hit all of the raised edges of all the rocks and the gravel that you put down. Now you're going to go in with a much lighter gray and do the same thing, but with a much lighter dry brush. So you want to have a very light hand with this because you want to leave some of the dark gray and some of the black on there. Alright, we are done with our dry brushing step. As you can see, we've just hit the top edges of all these rocks. And now we're going to move on to painting our lava. So you're going to want to take a dark red, give it a good shake, thin it down pretty heavily, and go ahead and start painting it on there. You want to cover all of the black area. You want to make sure you get right up to the edges of the rocks, but you don't want to go on top of the rocks, because if you do, it just looks unnatural and kind of sloppy, because lava tends to not flow over the tops of things, just kind of underneath and around them. So you want to make sure that you stay underneath the edges of all these rocks here. If you wanted to go onto the rocks for a kind of glowing effect, you could dry brush some of this red on here, but I tend to just leave it as is. So now that the dark red is done, we will move on to a much lighter shade of red. And the effect that you want to do here is basically a layering effect, where with the darker red you went right up to the edges of the rocks, but with this you want to leave some space in between them for that darker red to show through. And what that'll do is after this dries, it'll leave a very nice transition in between the darker and the lighter red, and we'll continue to do that up until we get to our lightest color. Alright, so here it is dried, and as you can see, it's got a very nice transition in between the dark red on the edges of the rocks to that lighter red. And so we're going to go in with an even lighter shade of red, almost an orange. And as you can see, it's very bright when we brush it on, but that'll darken up once it dries. And so you want to go pretty thin with this, just because You don't want to cover up any of the darker shades of red that you've already put on there. So you'll let that dry, and then we will go in with an orange color. So you're going to want to thin that down and go very, very small with this layer. You don't want the orange to overpower the reds too much. If you put too much orange on there, it's very distracting from the rest of the base. It kind of kills the natural transition that you get from building up those layers. And as you can see here on this little stream, I don't put orange all the way throughout the center of the stream. I just do it in little sections. I think it looks pretty natural, maybe like it's cooler in those spots, and then the orange is where it's warmer and it's much brighter. Alright, and there you have it. It was a quick, easy lava base. You could even go in here with some lighter yellows, but I think on smaller bases like this it looks a lot better with just the orange. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure if you have any suggestions for the next video, just leave a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe, and thanks so much. Till next time, guys.